See, Satyajit Ray, when he came on the prominence, so every producer in India offered him a film, you know. तो मैंने टीनू को बोला, हम बियर पी रहे थे, मैंने कहा यार खाने से पहले, लंच के पहले हम बियर पी रहे थे, तो मैंने कहा यार टीनू यार मुझे लगता है कि ये मानिक दा ये फिल्म हिंदी फिल्म बनाने को तैयार है। मैंने कहा भी ये तो ये ऐसे ही बात कर रहे हैं वो, तो मुझे कहता है यार मुझे भी लगता है ये बनाने को तैयार है। मैंने कहा you ask him if he can come and meet him in Calcutta. He says that he said you're most welcome to come and meet him in Calcutta, you know. क्या पहले तो चिट-चैट करा, हेलो करा, you know, थोड़ा तो चाय आई, तो चाय के थोड़ा सा पी, तो फिर मुझे पूछते हैं yes what is it? तो क्या मैंने I mumbled, I said you know दादा you know I just want you to make a film for me in Hindi and another in Hindi. Can you? I'll do it in English, you know. And तो ऐसे मैंने कहा दादा you must have a story that you want to make. कहता actually I do.
मिर्जा सज्जाद अली और मीर रोशन अली लड़ नहीं रहे, खेल रहे हैं। वो असली नहीं, अक्ल के घोड़े दौड़ाना पसंद करते हैं। तभी शतरंज जैसे पुराने और अजीम खेल को अपना मैदान बना रखा है।
मेरा जो इकोस्फीयर था वहाँ तो बड़ा बुरा माना। They used to think it's very bad to go into cinema. You see, when he told cinema like it was like you know like you're gone over the hill now. You know, you're not going to come back now. You know, you're going to Yashi. You know, I had a friend here called Sajid Peerboy, you know, and who later on married my niece, by the way. He was from Bombay, and his father had an advertising agency, you know, and they opened a branch in Delhi. So he had come there for that, you know, to set up the branch. So मेरे बहुत पक्का दोस्त बन गया वो, you know, we kind of really became bum chumps. So then he said, यार तुम टीनू को जाके मिलना. So Tinu and me hit it off right away, you know, because Tinu had studied with Sajid in Mayo College in Ajmer, you know. That's how they became friends. So there was only content in Delhi, you know. So Tinu family used to live in the Bombay side on Warden Road, but they now moved to Juhu, you know. So and Tinu's family became like my foster family in Bombay, you know. So every weekend I used to go to Juhu and stay with them, you see. Because I was staying in a paying guest accommodation, you know. And just to save money, you know, I didn't stay in a hotel. So then I came to know that, you know, his father was a very well-known screenwriter and dialogue writer called Indiraj Anand, you know. Indiraji and K. Abbas wrote mostly dialogues for Raj Kapoor's films. You know, you'll see their names there on it, you know. So when Tinu wanted to go into cinema, so his father told him, I can give you an option of one of two directors to work with. There is Fellini, I know, in Italy, you know. And they're like huge heroes of, you know. And there is Satyajit Ray. So then Tinu didn't want to go to Italy and learn Italian and all that, so he went to Satyajit Ray. So he became Manik Ray's assistant for 5 years. He had just come back to Bombay after finishing that when I met him, you know. So that's how we kind of became very close friends, you know. I mean, like we were just everywhere, up and down, like bum chums, you know, going to cinema together, previews together, parties together, you know, all that, etc. So that's how I met Tinu.
मिर्जा सज्जाद अली और मीर रोशन अली लड़ नहीं रहे, खेल रहे हैं। वो असली नहीं, अक्ल के घोड़े दौड़ाना पसंद करते हैं। तभी शतरंज जैसे पुराने और अजीम खेल को अपना मैदान बना रखा है।
see, Satyajit Ray, when he came on the prominence, so every producer in India offered him a film, you know. And David Selznick, you know, who did Gone with the Wind. So David Selznick used to have a David Selznick Award at Berlin. So then Ray won that twice. So then he told Ray that you come to Hollywood. So the first year तो Ray ने मना कर दिया. Second year जमा मना कराना तो Ray से पूछता है, Satyajit, why don't you want to come to? You know, he says, Mr. Selznick, I'm afraid of your memos, you know. I couldn't work with your control, micromanagement. So then every producer in India, Raj Kapoor, Tarchand Prajatiya, you know, the Rashtriya people, you know, S.S. Vasan was one of the big South Indian producers who made to Bollywood. Now was S.S. Vasan, you know, Gemini Pictures. उनकी बड़ी famous फिल्में थी. Gemini Pictures. If you go on the internet, you can see their films. So everybody offered him, "Aap mere film banao," you know, because he had become so internationally famous. तो कपूर ने तो राज को ने तो उसने मना कर दिया, कहता मैंने हिंदी फिल्म मैंने बनानी नहीं है. Raj Kapoor went to such an extent that he said that Dada, if you're afraid of my interfering, I promise you, I will not even visit the set when you're shooting, unless you give me permission. I'll ask you permission in writing before visiting the set also. So he said, Mr. Ray, Hindi is not my language. So I don't, will not feel comfortable, you know. Because if you see Ray's films, you know, and all these great directors, you see the dialogue is extremely good, you know. Because that is the expression of the man, you see, body, speech, and mind, you know. So क्या था? Satyajit Ray had that year given a convocation address at Pune. So in that convocation address, he said, because there was extreme, na. Kumar Shani and my friends, they're both my friends, and Mani called. We only make for ourselves, you know, cinema, you know. They used to make the most abstruse cinema, जो किसी को समझ नहीं आता था. So Satyajit Ray ने कहा कि भाई जो लोग कहते हैं, I'm just paraphrasing for you, that people who say that they make cinema for themselves, and if people don't like my film, then they can, then they don't know what good cinema is. So when you say that, it's like a cook making a dish and which nobody likes and says the person who doesn't like that dish doesn't know what food is, you know, something like that. तो मैंने टीनू को बोला, हम बियर पी रहे थे. मैंने कहा यार खाने से पहले, लंच के पहले हम बियर पी रहे थे. तो मैंने कहा यार टीनू, यार मुझे लगता है कि मानिक दा ये फिल्म हिंदी फिल्म बनाने को तैयार है. उसको मैंने ये बताया. मैंने कहा ये तो ये ऐसे ही बात कर रहे हैं वो. तो मुझे कहता है यार मुझे भी लगता है ये बनाने को तैयार है. Immediately I made him do a lightning call. You see, उस टाइम टेलीफोन की बुकिंग होती थी कॉल्स की. So the most case was the lightning call, which used to cost 8 times the normal call, you see. There was normal call, there was urgent call, there was lightning call, you see. So lightning they used to connect immediately, you know. मैंने कहा lightning call करो, अभी करो. So that is how it. So then उसने lightning call करी. तो मैं सुन रहा हूँ, मुझे थोड़ी सी बंगाली तो आती नहीं, बंगाली में कुछ शब्द ऐसे ना हिंदी ऐसे हैं, गोले को समझ तो आ गया. तो मैंने कहा क्या हो गया ऐसे. यार उन्होंने अभी तो कुछ कहा नहीं है, वो कहते हैं तुम कलकत्ते में, मैं कहा, you ask him if he can come and meet him in Calcutta. He says that he said you're most welcome to come and meet him in Calcutta, you know. तो मैंने immediately अपने travel agent को phone करा, who was near Church Gate, you know, other end of town. तो मैंने कहा भी ऐसे है, तुम फटाफट 2 टिकट कर हमारे लिए और हमारी बुकिंग कर ताज अपना ग्रैंड होटल कलकत्ता में, you know, one of the greatest hotels of the world, you know, the old grand hotels, you know. तो मैंने बुकिंग कराई ग्रैंड होटल में और मैंने टिकट दोनों कराए. हाँ, तो आई थिंक नेक्स्ट डे को हमने कराए टिकट. आई कुडंट वेट. तो उसने बंदे ने शाम तक मेरे घर में मेरे टिकट भेज दिए. तो वो नेक्स्ट टाइम चले गए, कलकत्ते पहुंच गए दादा के पास. तो शाम की फ्लाइट थी शायद, बट अर्ली इवनिंग, यू नो, इट वाज नॉट टू लेट. तो कहते यार सुरेश ऐसे है कि दादा हैज टोल्ड मी कि दैट यू फर्स्ट कम अलोन टू मीट हिम. तो इफ यू डोंट माइंड यार यू कैन. आई सेड ऑफ कोर्स नॉट. यार सर तुम तो टीनू को मैंने ड्रॉप करा रेसा घर में, एंड देन आई वेंट टू द होटल. अब you know, मैं तो, you know, pacing up and down, you know, smoking like crazy, you know, and I just kind of waiting. तो finally टीनू वापस आए. तो मैंने क्या हुआ कहते सुरेश ऐसे कि he has said कि सुबह तुम 10 बजे मिलने आ जाओ, तो he will tell you himself, you know. So of course I couldn't sleep all night. Yeah, naturally, how can you sleep all night, you know? So बस फिर हम अगले दिन गए तो रे साहब को. So and you know, and of course this was the man through whom I got introduced to art cinema in when I was a student in America, you know, because when I see the world cinema industry, him. I say one of my people were also on the world stage. You see, we came with deep colonial complexes. You see, you know, they really took your confidence away from you. So, you know, so man, this is a man that even the whole industry would stand up for. You know, when you walked in, there was his flat, his study. 2 दरवाजे थे. एक तो दरवाजा था immediately after the steps where you had his study, you see, and then on the right through the veranda was the other door to the house, to the main house, you know. So Ray himself used to always open the door for his guests, always. वो छोटा है बड़ा है कुछ भी हो, वो हमेशा दरवाजा खुद खोलते थे जाकर. और जैसे वो आप बैठे तो अंदर से चाय और बिस्किट आ जाते थे. Everybody. It can be a new filmmaker, it can be an old filmmaker, anybody, you know. तो automatically वहां से थोड़ी देर के बाद चाय और बिस्किट आ जाते थे. यार पहले तो चिट करा, हेलो करा, you know, थोड़ा तो चाय आई, चाय के थोड़ा सा पी. तो फिर मुझे पूछते हैं, yes, what is it? तो आवाज उनकी इतनी, his voice was such a fantastic voice, you know, totally baritone from यहाँ से आती थी आवाज उनकी, you know. तो क्या मैंने I mumbled, I said, you know, दादा, you know, I just want you to make a film for me in Hindi and other in Hindi. Can you? I'll do it in English, you know, and other. I say. And I say, if not in English, I'll do it in Bengali, you know. So, you know, after mumbling all this, I didn't even know what I was talking. You see, मुझे ये नहीं पता मैं क्या बकवास कर रहा हूँ. मुझे तो खुद नहीं समझ आ रहा मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ. And then this deep baritone comes. Actually, I'm thinking of doing a film in Hindi, and I fell on the floor, you know. I collapsed mentally there. And then he said that if you find a story, you let me know. तो इतना मैं होशियार हो गया था. मैंने कहा दादा, you must have a story that you want to make. कहता actually I do. Have you read this story by Premchand? You know, I said no. He said, I don't think this copy is easy to find, but I'll give you my copy, and you read it and you can return it by tomorrow, you know. I said, but on one condition, he says, that if you don't want to make this film, because it's going to be the most expensive film ever, so don't tell anybody else about the story, you know. Then I liked the story very much, you see, because history is my kind of my my hobby reading, my passion, you know. So, and Premchand I read in school, we taught Premchand in school. So then that was it. So then from there we started the whole thing. See, everybody knew that I had gone to Calcutta. I mean, some of the इंडस्ट्री को पता था कि ये जनरल साहब करते जा रहे हैं, तो वो थोड़ा सा कुछ में आ गया था, कुछ something like that. Then I gave the story to Khalid Muhammad, who had become a good friend of mine. You know, Khalid was the Times of India critic. And he put that story on the front page. All the lower half of the page was the whole story. उसके बाद फिर इंडस्ट्री पागल हो गई, you know. These directors, especially these art fatwalas, they thought they're next to God, you see. This man didn't think so. He thought next. I'm not even next to Suresh Jindal. And he was a true bodhisattva, you see. That everybody had the potential to do what he's doing, you see. This guy had not in one iota of airs that he's more than you. So then he told me. He says, Suresh, I asked him, I said, Dada, how come? There were thousands of conversations now, because we were always together. Because especially when we traveled to various places together, to look for costumes and props and all. Then we went to Berlin together, then we went to London together, there were thousands of conversations together. So, and I kept on asking him questions, because there's one thing I had was curiosity, that's one thing that I wanted to learn. That I had that consciousness that here is a master, that I can really learn from him, I had that much consciousness, So then I think I asked him that, Dada, how come you have, you make from such a short budget, such a small budget, people give you, he says, Suresh, look, this is the thing, that I believe that the producer should get his money back. Because if he doesn't, then I can't get my money for my next film, So Ray himself used to do all the budgeting himself of his films, So he said, listen, approximately it will cost this much money, See, Ray was you must understand, he was God, he knew everything. There was nothing that he didn't know. He knew budgeting, he knew everything he knew, He used to himself go out shopping for cloth for making costumes. Himself used to go out shopping for shoes, वो खुद जाते थे, उनको शौक था बस, he was man very much involved with life, he went out, out in amongst the people, He was sitting in an ivory tower doing nothing, telling others to do the work for him, So then then that's what he said, that this is what it is. It depends how much the actors will take. You have to see what the stars. Because I said, Dada, so that's what I told him. I said, Dada, look, for this kind of budget, we need to have stars. Otherwise, you can't sell the film. He says, I understand that. He said, I'm willing to work with stars. We can think of the casting together and, come out with the list together, So that he knew, This Sholay gang, yaar. They were the biggest star in the industry at that time. Amitabh Bachchan was junior to them. So Sanjeev and Amjad were Sholay stars. Sholay के जो dialogues थे ना, वो गब्बर सिंह के, वो families teach the children to ये dialogue सुनाओ uncle को. वो तो किसी घर जाओ ना, मिडिल क्लास होम में, अच्छा बेटा वो गब्बर के डायलॉग सुनाओ अंकल को, अंकल आए हैं,
अरे ओ सांभा,
अरे huge hit, it was like घर घर में कहानी उसके शोले की.
कितना इनाम रखे हैं सरकार हम पर?
पूरे 50,000.
सुना? पूरे 50,000. और ये इनाम इसलिए है कि यहाँ से 50-50 कोस दूर गांव, जब बच्चा रात को रोता है तो माँ कहती है, बेटे सो जा नहीं तो गब्बर सिंह आ जाएगा.
When the first announcement came, must be around 76, because the film got postponed by 1 year. Because first Sanjeev Kumar had a heart attack. Then Amjad Khan nearly died in a car accident, while driving to Goa. Amjad was a teetotaler. No smoking, no drinking, nothing. And family man, no women also. But he was a fast car guy. उसे कोई फास्ट कार मिली थी, किसी ने दी थी उसको, खरीदी थी उसने, तो उसको ड्राइव कर रहा था गोवा. And he banged into a tree. And he was just touch and go, because I went to Goa to see him in the hospital. Of course, you couldn't see him in the hospital, but I just went to, make a visit, in Panaji. Though he was for 1 month, he was just touch and go. They didn't know where he was going to go or he's going to stay. For 1 month, you see. So then, of course, he survived. That's when he started putting on weight, you see. Because of all the medication thing. I think something went wrong with it. So because, systems go wrong here when you have so much medicine pumped into you, तो फिर क्या था ना, and then of course we had to choose them for good acting. So Sanjeev and Amjad came from the theatre. ये theatre stars थे. We were going to cinema. Sanjeev Gujarati theatre and then Amjad English theatre. Amjad used to study, I think at St. Xavier's in Bombay. So they were theatre stars.
जरा सूरज को शर्माया तो होता.
मीर साहब, याद रखिए, शतरंज का एक अहम उसूल है जो कभी तोड़ा नहीं जाता.
कौन सा उसूल?
जिस मोहरे को हाथ लगा लिया उसी का चलना लाजमी है.
हद हो गई, हम तो
हमेशा आप एक मोहरा उठाते हैं, पल भर सोचते हैं और फिर दूसरा मोहरा चलते हैं. यही करते हैं आप. पिछली बाजी में आपने उठाया घोड़ा और चला प्यादा, उसके बाद आपने उठाया रुख, और ये
मत जाने दीजिए, गलती हो गई, आइंदा से ख्याल रखेंगे. आप खफा क्यों होते?
चलिए, चल चलिए।
Sanjeev Kumar was notorious of not coming to the sets before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Because Sanjeev used to drink and womanize like crazy, you know. उसकी womanization का था और drinking का था, you know. And then of course लोगों ने इनके खिलाफ बोलना शुरू कर दिया ना कि ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है। तो then संजीव को मैंने कहा I met him at राजकमल स्टूडियो, शूटिंग कर रहा था वहाँ पर। मैंने कहा हरी भाई, you don't mind it, but this is what Reza has heard, and I also heard that आप सेट में 2 बजे पहुँचते हो, 1 बजे पहुँचते हो। ऐसे देखो यहाँ तो सेट में 8 बजे पहुँचना पड़ेगा आपको। I think Reza only told me to clarify, you know. It was actually it was true also, you know. So he said Suresh, he says, you know, he says ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है। He says मेरे प्रोड्यूसर ही साले, आज हम साले पैसा नहीं देते हैं, वो पैसे लिए मुझे भगाते हैं। He says, I assure you that I will reach there. Whatever time you send the car in the morning, I'll be ready. And sure enough, he was ready. You know.
हमने अपने रिश्तेदारों से ज्यादा आप सब पर भरोसा किया। हुकूमत की तमाम जिम्मेदारियां आप सबको सौंप दी। और आप लोगों ने क्या किया? सिवाय अपनी जेबें भरने के क्या किया है आपने? कुछ नहीं। सलीमान साहब ने कहा भी था, इन सब लोगों से होशियार रहना। हमने सुनी अनसुनी कर दी, लेकिन आज हमें एहसास हुआ कि वो सच कहते थे।
So then Amjad Khan, I remember, so there was a little private club in Juhu, you know, that had just been made, you know, just like a private club, just you know, few members and, you know, like a bar and only thing, billiard table there. I remember I spent a whole afternoon with him talking in Punjabi. I said, देख यार, अब अपने कोरे गल नहीं चलेगी है, you know. तो then he said, सुरेश मुझे ये मेरे खिलाफ यूं ही बोलते हैं सारे सबके सब, they're already jealous. He says, you don't worry. He says, you don't worry, you know. So then, so that was it. They never gave 1 day of problem, 1 hour of problem. And you know, they're superb. So when the film got finished now, by Amjad Khan and Saeed Jafri की language Urdu है, हरी भाई की लैंग्वेज उर्दू नहीं है।
मिर्जा साहब, ये लोग अफवाहें क्यों फैलाते हैं? आइंदा किसी ने अंग्रेजी फौज का नाम भी लिया तो कसम जनाबे अमीर की जबान खींच लेंगे। कितना सुहाना समा है और हम हैं कि शतरंज से महरूम।
Reza had met Saeed Jafri at Lebanon airport. You know, on one of his trips abroad, then Saeed was also, I think, going to shoot for John Huston, you know, the man who would be king in Africa. तो बेरूट एयरपोर्ट में ये मिले थे वहां पर उनको। तो he says, Saeed Jafri has to be there. I never heard of Saeed Jafri. Nobody heard of Saeed Jafri. He said, otherwise I'm open to any suggestions that you give, you know. And then for the actress, you see, I wanted to, naturally went to Hema first. He said, Suresh, she looks too South Indian, you know. If there's a Muslim girl, you know, she will not work for me. Okay, take it. So then, somebody says, Rakhi was a big star at that time, Gulzar's wife, you know. So he says, I think it's the correspondence also. And then I said, Rakhi. So he said, Rakhi looks a Bengali from. I think about Rakhi or Malini. He said that they look Bengali or from a mile away, you know. He said, Rakhi, I don't want Rakhi. So then, then it was my suggestion to use Shavana Hasmi. Because Said Shekhar was in school with me, you see. And Shekhar and Shavana's affair was very, very famous in the industry. So then I met her, I think, through Shekhar only, I think I met her. When you're in the industry, then you go to these various events, na. कहीं पर preview है, कहीं पर exhibition है, कहीं पर ये है, कहीं पर वो है. So then I met her there. Then I suggested Shavana to do the. You see, then who Ray wanted was Madhur Jaffrey, Said's ex-wife, who was a Ivory Merchant, James Ivory and Ismail Merchant star, many of their films. So he wanted Madhur Jaffrey. तो मधुर जाफरी की सईद जाफरी की बहन रहती थी वहां पर मुंबई में. Then we found Said had just had a divorce with Madhur, but a year back, and he was devastated. He was completely devastated. So then his sister told us, Shagufta in Bombay, that he'll be a nightmare if you get Madhur here. So Ray also heard that. Then we told Ray that there's the problem that Shagufta, his sister, says that if you get Madhur here, and Madhur probably will not work, because. So that's how Madhur was kind of. Had to be changed. Because that's who Ray wanted, you see. So, and I remember I went to meet Shavana and Shekhar were going out for the weekend to Lonavala or something, And then I met her in the Rajkumar studios. And we were talking outside the car. In the car, the car just waiting. They're just waiting to drive out. So that's when I told her this is what it is. Then she says, Suresh, for him, I'll read the telephone directory, So ऐसे ज़्यादा लंबा रोल नहीं है. ऐसे शिवाना ना पैसा ज़्यादा है इसमें.
मकबूल
सरकार.
नवाब साहब आ गए?
हाँ सरकार.
अकेले हैं?
नहीं सरकार, मीर साहब संगमा है.
शतरंज तो नहीं खेल रहे?
खेले था पर मोहरल संग नहीं, नींबू सुपारी संग. कौन जानी शतरंज में कौन जादू है.